Breaking. A powerful mayor has just threatened to dismantle the British monarchy, and in this fictional scenario, King Charles responds with a weapon no one even knew existed. Within the next 48 hours, one of them will be politically destroyed. This is the constitutional showdown tearing this fictional London apart. What happens next decides whether democracy or royal tradition survives in this story's imagined future. Here's what they're not telling you. 5 days ago in this fictional world, London Mayor Sadiq Khan stood before the press and unveiled something he called the London Citizenship Charter, a dramatic new policy forcing all businesses to sign diversity agreements or face fines up to £50,000. His message was clear. London will lead Britain into the 21st century, whether the establishment likes it or not. In our fictional scenario, King Charles heard this, and for the first time in over 300 years, invoked a secretive power known as Crown Intervention, a hidden constitutional mechanism allowing the monarchy to challenge an elected official's authority. The king sent a letter to Parliament, questioning whether Khan had exceeded his powers. And then the palace made that letter public. In political language, that's a declaration of war. And it only gets darker. Khan's response came swiftly. Yesterday at 4 p.m., he stepped outside City Hall, voice shaking, hands gripping the podium, ready to strike back. The unelected king, he said, has just told the democratically elected mayor of London that he knows better than the 8 million Londoners who voted for change. This is not 1825, Khan declared, voice cracking with emotion. This is 2025, and I will not be silenced by a crown that has forgotten the people it claims to serve. The crowd behind him erupted. But inside Westminster, jaws dropped. 3 journalists reported the same thing. Khan's press secretary, David Bellamy, was frantically signaling him to stop, mouthing the words, "End it." But Khan ignored him. Fueled by the roaring crowd, he crossed lines that cannot be uncrossed. Then came the attack that stunned Britain. How many palaces does one family need? Khan asked, while ordinary Londoners can't even afford rent. The crowd exploded. Social media detonated. Inside Westminster, panic spread like wildfire. Labour's Shadow Home Secretary, Yvette Cooper, reportedly turned off her TV, whispering, "I can't watch this." Even members of Khan's own party began to panic. Then came the story that changed everything. James Morrison, a 73-year-old Falklands veteran who lost his leg serving Britain, had lived in a tiny London flat for 30 years. Until last month, when he was evicted under Khan's new housing quotas. Now he sleeps in his daughter's spare room, surviving on a £900 monthly pension. "I fought for Britain," Morrison sobbed to reporters, tears running down his face. "And now Britain has no place for me in its own capital." His story exploded, over 300,000 shares in 24 hours. The contrast was brutal. While veterans like Morrison lose their homes, Khan's office spent £2 million last year on diversity consultants, including £18,000 on a single luxury weekend retreat in Surrey. £18,000, while pensioners freeze, while veterans are pushed out of their own city. Then came another viral video. Sarah Jenkins, a 62-year-old retired nurse from Barking, crying into her phone. "I voted for him twice. I believed in him. But he cares more about his image than about us." Within hours, the clip passed 1 million views. Polls shifted instantly. Within 72 hours, Khan's approval rating collapsed 18 points among voters over 50. He fell to 19% overall. Even under 30 supporters dropped from 71% to 53%. Then King Charles stepped in. At a royal reception yesterday, he gave what insiders are calling the most political speech by a monarch in 70 years. "The traditions that bind this nation together," Charles said, calm but firm, "cannot be discarded by those who mistake temporary power for permanent authority. London belongs to all Britons, not to the ideological whims of a single mayor." The room froze. Diplomats stopped mid-conversation. Palace aides later admitted they begged him to tone it down. He refused. He personally rewrote the speech 3 times, each version stronger than the last. A line had been drawn. In public. In daylight. Then at 11:23 p.m., Khan fired back on Twitter. The Crown lectures me about tradition while protecting inherited wealth and privilege. I answer to Londoners, not to palaces. 17 minutes later, the tweet vanished. But screenshots had already gone viral. Political strategists from both sides called it a disaster. "You don't pick a midnight fight with the monarchy and then delete it," one said. "It makes you look panicked, desperate, out of control." Hours later, Labour leader Keir Starmer released a devastating statement. Khan's comments do not represent the Labour Party. When your own leader disowns you publicly, that's political death in real time. The pound dropped 0.3% after Charles's speech, erasing £1.2 billion from London's financial sector in a single day. Bloomberg analysts began questioning whether London could remain a global financial hub amid the chaos. Investors hate instability, and this was the worst kind. By morning, protests had erupted across the city. Thousands carrying Union Jacks flooded Trafalgar Square, demanding Khan's resignation. Counter-protesters clashed with royalists. 12 arrests. 7 officers injured. 3 police vehicles smashed. London hasn't seen unrest like this since the 2011 riots, and it's getting worse by the hour. Inside City Hall, everything is collapsing. Deputy Mayor Sophie Linden reportedly threatened to resign during an emergency meeting, saying Khan had crossed a line that cannot be uncrossed. Another aide said his political judgment had completely broken down. Sources describe him as exhausted, isolated, glued to Twitter, unable to stop reading every criticism. One longtime aide said quietly, "He knows he's in the fight of his political life, and he's not sure he can win." Then the story detonated. The Telegraph obtained leaked documents from Khan's office. Internal emails from September revealed strategy meetings where his team openly discussed manufacturing a conflict with the monarchy to energize progressive voters. One email from his chief strategist read, "We need a villain. The Crown is perfect, unelected, wealthy, traditional. Everything our base opposes." If these leaks are real, this wasn't a spontaneous feud. It was engineered. Khan may have deliberately provoked the king, expecting public sympathy for an elected mayor standing up to an unelected monarch. But he catastrophically misread Britain in 2025. The country isn't ready to abandon the crown, especially not for a mayor blamed for rising crime, unaffordable housing, and a divided city. Constitutional historian David Starkey called the leaks the most cynical political manipulation I've seen in 50 years. The Conservative opposition smelled blood. Leader Kem Bardock delivered a fiery press conference that felt like a campaign launch. While Sadiq Khan attacks the king, real Londoners suffer. Crime is up 23%. Rents are at record highs. 12,000 businesses have fled the city. And his response? Attack the one institution that unites this country. The data backed her up. A knife crime, up 31% since Khan took office. A rents, up 48%. A small businesses fleeing in record numbers ***. Conservative support in London surged from 31% to 42% in just 4 days. For the first time since 2016, they're leading Labour in Greater London polls. The next 72 hours will decide everything. Monday ***, a vote of no confidence, where even his own councillors may turn on him. Thursday ***, an emergency parliamentary debate on whether he exceeded his authority. Saturday ***, a massive royalist march expecting over 100,000 people, potentially the biggest in decades. The question now isn't whether Khan survives politically. The question is whether London itself survives the chaos. Britain is watching its capital tear itself apart, split between those who believe elected leaders can challenge tradition, and those who believe tradition must endure. Not since the abdication crisis of 1936 has the monarchy been challenged this directly. At the center stands Sadiq Khan, isolated, desperate, and politically finished. So here's the real question. Did Khan commit political suicide by declaring war on King Charles? Or did Charles cross a constitutional line by intervening in London's politics? Who wins? The elected mayor or the unelected king? Tell us in the comments. Do you stand with Khan or with Charles? Should an elected mayor challenge royal tradition, or is the crown still sacred? Because this isn't just London's fight. It's a battle for Britain's soul. If this shocked you, share it. Mainstream media shows the surface. We show the truth behind it. And tomorrow, we release the full leaked emails proving Khan planned this from the start. What's inside them will change everything you think you know about this crisis. Subscribe and turn on notifications. Because the next 48 hours will decide whether a mayor or a monarch controls Britain's capital. This is history, unfolding in real time. And you do not want to miss what comes next.